Aloha, beautiful family. Bliss here, doing a little LoveStream check-in. We just finished a 3-day meditation transmission on the symbolic nature of creation, the symbolic nature of the field of pure awareness that we are. We are the field of pure awareness, and everything in that field is symbolic. So in these great transitional times, and we have been sharing some love streams recently that share about the cult of personality and the fabric of the tapestry of what we call the matrix, and that fabric is actually made up by the interweaving of all the personalities that are part of that creation. And so step by meticulous step over many miracle years, we have been withdrawing our consent from those old creations, and many of us have. And we were guided by the Hopi in their prophecy, which said the fourth world was created to resolve our miscreations from our misunderstandings of cosmic principles. And so we could say that duality was a gift to speed up that process, to bring ourselves into alignment with pure awareness, a field of, we were going to say the field of coherence, but pure awareness is really beyond coherence. Pure awareness is the field that is ripe and fertile and benevolent for creation. And that field of awareness has been filled with symbols at the level of the fabric of the interwoven tapestry of personas and personalities, the cult of personality. So as each person wakes up to the revelation that they are not their personality, they are not their role in the play that they have been playing, there becomes a great freedom for observation of the mechanics of the personality. And as one begins to witness the mechanics of how that personality operates, one can choose inside of that awareness to allow that personality to continue to operate on automatic or override the circuitry of the program. So as we do, as many of us have, we dissolve all attachment to the creations that have been a part of. Aloha. We're back again. Got a little cut off there, so we'll keep going with this transmission, which is about the dissolution of the tapestry of what was, which was created by all of our conscious agreement for our interwoven personalities. And that created all the structures. So for many miracles, many of we, all shapes and sizes and locations and colors, have been choosing differently than the push-pull dynamics of duality and polarity. And as that tapestry, and usually we do this with our fingers held together in other love streams, as that tapestry comes apart, makes a great visual. When we do that with our fingers, there is the blackness of space pure awareness, and it's very spacious. And in that spaciousness, symbolic communication can come in again. This is how the indigenous, like the Shipibo, live. They live in the world of the symbolic, in pure awareness. The Kogi, the Kalahari bush people, never took on processors that began to divide and conquer the wholeness of the one, the field of pure awareness. So we're coming out of a dream. That's what the indigenous tell us. And as we come out of the dream, this transmission is guiding those of we who resonate with this transmission to see that the processor has shifted and changed. It's dissolved away, the mental processing system. And symbols are our form of communication because it is all symbolic. Everything is a symbol. And that cult of personality had a tenacity to it because there was a lot of intention placed inside of the symbols that held together the tapestry of the field or the matrix that we have come from. So the 3-day online meditation transmissions that we just completed were to assist, to provide articulation that allows the consciousness to shift, allows the consciousness to have epiphanies and go, oh my gosh, this makes total sense. And the miracle coordinate, we have an epiphany. Everything shifts because creation is malleable and we have the capacity to shift everything through cognitive awareness when those epiphanies come in. So as our perception of reality continues to shift, we just invite our human family to tune in to more spaciousness. We've shared many miracles, the lymphatic breath that we have invited people to do. We just put up the link for take a deep breath. 4 breaths in, 16-second hold, 8 seconds out. And to continue that breath play because that shifts our autonomic nervous system, which allows us to connect into the field of pure awareness. And we are the field of pure awareness. That's what the consciousness is remembering, is that we are the blackness of space and we've manifested into physicality as sovereign beings. Step by meticulous step, we have been bringing ourselves back by unplugging and dissolving the attachment through the cult of personality, through all those interwoven tapestries of contracts and relations called karmic debt. That karmic debt is really just the interweaving of relations. And so as we resolve ourselves back to a state of sovereignty, that means every relation in our life, we dissolve the belief of should. We dissolve all those attachments because Ra Aru, wonderful Ra Aru, who brought through human design, showed us that in the fictional fiction, humans have a misperception of what love is. Humans believe that love is with another person, and he explained that's not love at all. To actually activate the human design system that each one of us is in, each one of us must be fully aligned with, even though we're not our blueprint, to make one's way beyond the blueprint, one must be fully aligned with the blueprint, in alignment with. And just like when one comes into alignment with, that is the place for the cosmic shift, the cosmic leap out of the blueprint, out of the personality. So in the 35th gene, which is the shortcut, which Richard Rudd talks about in the Gene Keys and says, not many take the shortcut because it's the dissolution of the mind, the dissolution of the field of the mind and the whole creation that it's created. And yet, he says, as though the gods who created the machine, we're paraphrasing, created a shortcut. And the beauty of the shortcut and the non-attachment is there are no shoulds. There is alignment with the way out and the way in. And that only comes when we have energetically dissolved all polarized connections, all polarized relations and tribal blood bonds. Not good, bad, right, or wrong. It is just the mechanics of the shift. That's why the Hopi prophecy said, John Kimmy paraphrased it, carrier of the Hopi cloth. Grandfather David said, at this time, which was really that time in the past now, because we're through the veils. But he said, at this time, Grandfather David said, men and women would tend to live apart. What they were saying in the space between the lines was men and women, humans, would return to their sovereignty of the one heart. They would come back from being two hearts. That is what the Hopi rock, the diagram on the Hopi rock was about, coming back down the ladder from being two-hearted people to being one-hearted, which is the union of the head and the heart. And the union of the head and the heart is unity consciousness, which overrides the ego, which was the head. And that's the processor in the transmission that we brought through today, meditation 3 of the 3 meditations we have just shared. We put links in the description box for anyone interested to find out more. What we saw in the transmission today was the true meaning of the crucifixion, the milk and honey, all of the neurotransmitters and alchemical processes going off in the head and the vortex and the body of light opening for humanity. So to become aligned with this, there can be no attachment to polarity, to duality, or any relations inside of those conditions. Otherwise, that energy draws us back. It pulls us back from pure awareness. And in the fictional fiction, the Western world is literally become a prison of electromagnetic attachment, no judgment of conditions or relations or relationships, none of that. Just, it's about that electromagnetic polarity. As we said at the beginning of the first transmission, we had to start this one again, so this one goes. Another love stream, we'll put them both together. At the beginning of this transmission, the guidance said that what did the guidance say? We're going to tune in for a minute. It's an important piece, but we can go back to the first love stream and find out whatever we said. So for each one of we, the process of dissolving duality from a mental processor can feel very extreme because the mind cannot resolve itself. That's why we always share all the things that have been taught in all the esoteric teachings to bring one back to pure awareness inside of the self, whole brain state, cold showers, breath play, yoga, all those things we list in all the love streams that have been in all the teachings, the common things around the world, whatever creates stillness within. And that's what dissolves the dissonance of the electromagnetic polarity. So the really cool, fun part is, for many of we, it's dissolved in totality or dissolving, and in that we become the field again. And all communication is merely symbolic. And through our awareness of the symbolic nature of this blackness of space, if we were to stand here and go, oh, I'm surrounded by all these symbols, which one do I want to place my focus on? When I place my focus there, I give it more of my energy to come into form. So this transformation, the great transfiguration, these 3 meditations we just shared, and this place that we're at, these meditations are just articulating where we're at, has been to draw all the energy back such that the external symbols are no longer controlling our awareness, because the external symbols are already coded with all their own meaning. So to be sovereign is to draw all of one's energy back, to come back to the blackness of space, to pure awareness, where the field is pure and untouched with meaning, with labels, with definition. Being a human is an archetypal thing, is loaded with labels and definition of what it is to be human. So we're in a flow now of collapsing all those things, even what it is to be human. A human looks like this, a human does that, a human feels these things, all these interwoven boxes or spheres of information of what a human is. And when the Kundalini goes up and beyond and connects in totality with the field, the cosmic energy dissolves. In technical terms, it would be burns out the circuitry of mental processor, so that we now are fully aware that we are home as pure awareness in the blackness of space. We choose the symbol. We assign the meaning, not from the ego, because the ego has been flushed from our full awareness of our communication with the benevolent field that animates all life. The supra-intelligent field that animates all life. And this is where we begin anew, these time words, but this is where we are now, where we've drawn. This is why we have been doing everything we've been doing, to bring the awareness home again, so that we're not just in the blackness of space when we're sitting on our meditation pillow or our yoga mat. We are walking and moving through the field of blackness, of space, of pure potential. And we can reach our hand out and touch that symbol right here in the field. It's right here in the field. The symbols we choose to animate with our pure awareness, just reach out and touch it, and it becomes real. With the same capacity to release it back into. That's why all of we have been going through all these steps to dissolve, to release, to let go of all of the heavy carbon baggage. To be in a state of purity. There's 3 stop codons in the genes. Thank you, Richard Rudd, for the Gene Keys book. The 3 stop codons forgetfulness, distraction, and vanity. The final stop codon, if we could even say vinyl, which is a linear thing, and we are non-linear beings. We're spatial. We are the field. If this love stream is inspiring, please share it. That's called gifting. There's a little share button there. We are the field. So that final stop codon, so to speak, the 12th gene of vanity, is the cult of personality. It's the aspect of the ego that becomes more and more subtle, but it's still running the show. And it can be very drawn on by the old tribal blood bonds, which is why when one gets to that point, this is why in the, esoteric traditions, or the just all the teachings of spiritual beings, like, it's normal in Tibet. You want to become a monk, you become a monk, and you withdraw from all of your relations. Not because it's good, bad, right, or wrong, because you are being guided to choose that path. Directive from your source within. Not bound to anything. Non-attachment. And from the human perspective, there's many people, there's many beings that want to set themselves free, but it's in the fictional fiction. We're sharing the cognitive awareness to understand the choices that we make, that they're totally loving, that they're totally compassionate. It's a greater awareness of the inner mechanics of this light ship and why we came. We didn't come to shop at Costco and celebrate Walmart Christmas. Maybe some did. We came to ignite the technology within. So we're sharing these transmissions step by meticulous step to welcome all aspects of our human family in to the field of pure awareness, pure potential, benevolent, non-dual. We love we thank we celebrate we sing with we dance with we, the miracle jubilee. Reach into that cosmic field. Some of the symbols that come are going to show you things that are dissolving, and some of the symbols that come are going to be the seeds of entirely new creations. And how do we know the difference? Because one is going to light this body, this tree of life up in totality, the miracle coordinate. You see that symbol in the blackness of space. And the ones that are dissolving, or the ones that are not the symbols for your sovereign relation with Source, just shift your focus. So the dissolution we have been doing at every level of the fabric of our creations, our realities, our lives, has been so that we have the spaciousness to get beyond the mind, get beyond the stories, get beyond the enmeshment, to have the spaciousness to go, I get it, now that I've collapsed all those stories and given them all back to Source. Not that I didn't love them. It's just graduation. And as we do it, more and more awareness comes back to this technology itself, and simultaneously our awareness becomes one with everything, so there is no separation. And this is when we come home to the field of symbols, which the indigenous say to us is more real than where we have come from. We love we. Aloha. If this love stream was inspiring, please share it. That's called gifting. So much more to come because it's so fun.